Shawn, what's going on, man? What's
Good,
happening,
bro.
man? It's been a
Man,
minute, man. How you been?
I'm all good, man. I feel like ever since I got married, I just been on a run.
You busy man. I know you had
Yeah.
you hit me up. He was like, man, you down here in Sugar Land. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, I'm not in that area, man. But how did you like it down there? Sugar Land is
It was my
Sugar
first time
Land
in
and
Texas,
Pearland.
period.
Okay, okay.
I was down there for a wedding, but bro, Texas is so hot in comparison to Chicago. It's like that dry heat. Here's some key differences I noticed about Sugarland or Texas in general in comparison to like Chicago or where I've driven around in Illinois.
Hmm.
Number one, it's hot. Number two, everybody drive trucks, bro. I swear, I didn't. It's so many trucks everywhere. I'm not used to seeing this many trucks. Number three, I feel like all the parking spots are really big because everybody got trucks. Number four, I like the little U-turn for the highway. So like in Chicago, you got to drive to the stoplight and then you make a left, and then now you're at another stoplight, and then you got to make another left, right? But when I was there, it had like these U-turn things and a yield sign. I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope. That's
On the
cool. We
right,
need
on the
those.
right side or the left side, you stop
Yeah,
right there, and then you go. You keep going.
yeah, I like that a lot. I was like, I never seen that. That was pretty much everything I noticed that was different. I was like I said, I was in what is it called, Sugarland?
Yeah, Sugar Land. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sugar
I was
Land
in
and
Sugarland. I keep calling it Sweetland.
Sweetland. Yeah, Sugar Land and Pearland are very nice areas. It's very affluent. A lot of people. It's one of those places where if you want to be on the outskirts of Houston, um, that's typically where you'll move to.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, you're just in the city, and then it's like very congested. But yeah, Sugarland is dope. But I'm glad you got to see Texas for the first time, man. Hey,
Yeah,
a lot
there
of
was a lot
trucks.
of Teslas there too. I saw a lot of people with
Yeah,
Tesla.
they drive like so fast too. Like I don't know if
Hmm.
you noticed that when you drive on the highway, man, you got to be moving, bro.
Yeah,
They run you over.
yeah.
They run you over. Yeah, but man, that's awesome, man. Once again, congratulations on you getting married, and you're a busy man. You going to weddings and doing all that stuff. Then you got your school and stuff going on. How's that going so far?
Everything is cool, man. So this week I started my before school tutoring. I got my after school tutoring. I got my Wealthy Wednesday and my chess starting too. So I'm gonna be at the school for about 11 to 12 hours.
All right.
Still go in on the weekends and print out, the work for the kids for the week and stuff like that. So I'll be putting in hours, man.
They gonna need to give you a bigger check, Sean. They're gonna have to promote you to assistant principal or something, man. You put great. So yeah, chess is interesting. You say chess. I like chess. Chess is a cool game. I used to play chess. Used to go to chess tournaments.
Hmm.
I remember once I finished like third place out of like 80
That's what's
players.
up. Was
Yeah.
it for school or like was it for something else?
So like we learned in school, like they taught us in school, and then within our school district, you had tournaments. It's like
Hmm.
you had tournaments where you would play like ranked players and stuff like that. But I was introduced to chess through school, but I had to
That's
go to
dope.
the tournament outside of school. So that's awesome, man. I love chess.
Yeah, that's dope. We got to get a game in, man.
Yeah, yeah, online chess or something like that or whatever,
Yeah,
shy, whatever. And then you got the what you do, Wealth Wednesdays,
yeah,
wealth.
Wealthy Wednesday. So for that, last year, like I went to the basics and I just taught everybody like what is a stock, what is real estate, what is cryptocurrency, and what is a small business. So when I started the club this year, I noticed that none of my fifth graders signed up for it because they wanted to play basketball and stuff. But the last year, fifth graders, which are now sixth graders, they signed up. And then the sixth graders who I had last year, who are in now seventh grade, they signed up for it. And I even got an eighth grader. So since I got some returning kids, I think I'm gonna put a lot of the info on them, like just choosing something that they want to learn, and just hone in on it for like 2 months. So, like I mean, you don't need me to hold your hand anymore because all of this stuff that I taught last year. So, now I just want you to learn more about it and ask you, how do you think you can get started now? I think that's the direction I want to go this year with Wealthy Wednesday.
Right, and that's pretty cool too, because like even with the eighth grader that you was talking about, that eighth grader is gonna enter high school, and so that's gonna get to a point where the eighth grader is gonna be able to start working. So as they start working, then they can start making different decisions. Like, hey, I learned some of these basic finance principles um, when I was under um, under Mr. Hudson, when he was my teacher. And so now I got a head start, and now so I can start applying some of these principles, and then I can go from there. Or you may even motivate like some of those students to be able to pursue a career in finance or something.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you started out just teaching them the basics, they may get intrigued, where they may want to continue to learn more about financial markets and investing, and go on to do something in finance, whether that's
Mm-hmm.
corporate or financial advising or something else.
I have an idea. I think I want to either purchase an audio book or read the book. I already got the book in my little file or whatever. Uh, the Pipeline Principle. Have you ever read that book?
Write that down. No, I never.
Yeah, that I like. It's a really cool story, basically talking about you know
It's called
the importance of investing, and
pipe.
like it's the story about like these two guys who both get hired to deliver water
Mhm.
um to their village. So then one gets the idea, like after doing it one day, one gets the idea, hey bro, maybe we should, create like a water piping system. And then the other guy was like, bro, like that's gonna take so much time. Why would we do that when we could just keep delivering buckets? And he was like, man, but like look at how we feel after 1 days of work. Like, can you imagine doing this all the time? And then the other guy's like, nah, it ain't gonna be a problem. So then, Buddy put in his work, and started making his water piping system whenever he got time. So then eventually everybody started going to him for water. Why would you need the guy who walk over to get water when you got a piping system, with another guy? So
Right.
then you got to read the book, bro. It's decent. I like it.
Yeah, I just wrote it down right here on a sticky note. I'll make sure I check that out after the show, or after I get out of class. Rather, we on the road, so I got the
Yeah.
digital back around the road. So,
Yeah,
but
when I was
I'm
on
gonna
a when I was on a plane, here we go. The Parable of the Pipeline. That's what it's called. My bad.
the parable of the pipeline.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Parable of the
okay.
Pipeline.
Yeah, because right now I'm finishing up the 5 a.m. club right now,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna check that out next. The parable of the
Yeah,
pipeline.
I read this book for the first time 2 years ago,
Okay.
and I was like, man, this is a. I think I read this book in like a day. I was like, yo, this is a good book. Like, I think I want to use this book to get them to think about how, as human beings, our bodies change over time, and the energy you have now isn't going to be the same amount of energy 40 years from now. So the question is, 40 years from now, when they 50 years old, because I got 10-year-olds and stuff. When you 50, are you going to be doing the exact same thing you was doing when you was 18 or 20, right? Do you want to continue to work, and that's the only way you get money? Because eventually, if you don't have, a pipeline, right? If you didn't build anything this entire time, you have no choice but to work. But if you invest in stocks or crypto and real estate, start a small business and then, sell it off to somebody, or, hire people to do it for you, like that's the only way. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's risky to invest. I feel like it's more risky to not invest, you know?
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, because I mean, ultimately, you can't really save your way to retirement, right? Like most people, well, yeah. So like save your way, like specifically just save, put money in a savings account. You can't save and invest your way to retirement. But the reality is a lot of people, like you got some people that get lucky, right? Like some people get lucky. Like I don't know guys that done had property, that done had property near where Elon Musk decided to build this plant, and they lucked out. We're talking about millions of dollars for the land. People like them get lucky. They get lucky. They could put that away. They'd probably be good for retirement. But for the majority of people, just saving your way, saving $2,000 a month and all that stuff for 40 years, that ain't gonna be enough. So, and I agree with you. And it was one of those conversations that I was having with some people I know the other day. Know some kids, young cats, 18 years old, 4 years younger than me. They're like, man, I'm getting money. These guys in the oil field, man, making $10,000 a month. I'm like, damn, these people clearing like 100,000 at 18. It's crazy, right? And so, but like you said, you got to remember, anytime you do like those blue collar jobs, like they're good, but ultimately it probably would be best to maybe transition into becoming the owner rather than the person that's actually out there doing it long term, because your body's going to start to break down. And as you get older, you're not going to be able to do that, right? Bend down and do all that. You won't have the flexibility that you once had in your early 20s and 30s. So I think you're pretty much spot on with that. Shout out to Wealth Talk Productions. That's my guy.
What's up?
Shout out to Wealth Talk Productions. So, and then, you from the Chi, obviously. So we're going to touch into a topic that's related to the Chi with, like we got Michael Jordan, man. He got some property over there in Highland Park, Shawn. You know anything about that area?
Highland? I've never been to Highland Park. I've heard of it. I never driven through it, but I heard, I've heard of the word
Highland. Yeah, I think it's I think Highland Park is let me see, if I'm not mistaken, I think Highland Park is a nice area.
I'm gonna go look.
It's relatively, it's just about a mansion is best. He says,
I'm on the map right now just to go look.
Behind the mansion is at best use as a party spot or for a big family. I mean, yeah, but are you really gonna be?
Oh, it's super far north. That's why.
Shout out to
from where I am,
Jay Royce.
It's far north.
Okay, Highland, but I think Highland Park is like one of the best areas in Chicago, right?
It's a suburb, so
Okay.
Yeah, it's far. Like it's probably, let me see. It looked like it's an hour and a half away. It's like really close to Wisconsin.
Oh wow. Okay, damn.
Yeah, I'm looking at a map right now.
Let me see. It says Wally says, but buying to resell or rent out is heavy, especially if we have to rebuild. Well, I think the thing is, well, like specifically with like this property right here at Wally, is that I had saw this property. I had saw this story a while ago. It says that Michael Jordan is like, the property has a shout out to, she says, Miss Zora. She said it's a good suburb, but not the best. Man, I heard some crazy stuff happening over there in Highland Park, especially back in early 2000s, like maybe like 2013. That's when they had, like, I know Chief Keef and all those other folks were staying over there. So some crazy stuff going on in Highland Park, despite the name. Shout out to JoJo. Shout out to
what up, JoJo?
Yeah, JoJo. Make sure. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. She says, but known for the fact that MJ has his home there. And then JoJo says, he says, listening and prepping for Hurricane Ian. Yeah, man, I hope you stay safe, man. I think they're saying that hurricane is supposed to hit Tampa, and that's like going to be the first in a century or something where it just directly hits Tampa. That's the only thing about living in the Gulf, JoJo, because I've experienced, like, I don't know about you, but I've experienced like 3 to 4 hurricanes. We had the one in 2005, 2000 and Hurricane Ike, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Ike, and then Hurricane Harvey. So I don't know about you, JoJo, but I've experienced quite a few, man. Living in the Gulf, it's no good, man. It's no
I don't know
good.
nothing about tornadoes or hurricanes or
Oh
earthquakes.
man.
Our
Only thing
natural
you,
disaster in Chicago is guns.
yeah, only thing you know about. Oh yeah, he said Miami native. So yeah, you know. The only thing you know about Shawn is guns, and they shoot them like fireworks over there in Chicago. You know between Chicago and Philly, you know about that, and then you know about the harsh winters. That's pretty much what you know.
Yeah.
The harsh winters. So let me see. I'm gonna touch into this, and so that's what I was saying to Wally. I'm like, he says Hurricane Andrew. Oh man, yeah, it's flooded in Miami right now. I think, but but yeah. So this property has been over there in Chicago, in Highland Park. I remember reading about this years ago that he was struggling to sell this property. And I think when it comes to like mansions and stuff like that, like though you're looking for certain type of buyers, Shawn. Um, you're not gonna be. It's not really for most of the people that's in the general public, when you're dealing with these type of homes because the price tags, right? And so one of the things that I was looking at is some of the features of this mansion that Michael Jordan has for sale. Man, he got like a wine cellar, and you got like all type of stuff here. It's like a
JoJo, don't get started.
tennis court and large patio and all that. He say, Shawn, I can tell. Oh man. And then Jay Roy he says, I'm down here by Jacksonville. We're about to catch some of it too. And I hope y'all stay safe, man. And them hurricanes, man. Hey man, for real, y'all have to evacuate. Do that. I done been in them, man. Where you walk outside and I'm talking about that water's like up there, man. It's crazy. But but yeah, when I was looking at some of these features on this mansion, I'm like, they got a tennis court in here and a patio and putting green, and they even got like a indoor basketball court and like just a piano room. There's probably like some Mozart in there or something, entertainment room, and Shawn, it's just crazy because although you have all these features, this house is still not selling. So what do you think about that?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, it has luxurious features. I mean, who doesn't want, a studio to watch a movie in, or a basketball court and swimming pool? But the question is, who can really afford that right now, especially with these interest rates? Like, who's going to be able to afford this? Not many people, right? I mean, what is it? You got to put down at least to what, 2%? I mean, Bank of America say 0% nowadays.
Oh
They trying to
man,
start that whole thing. Maybe somebody
yeah,
buy a Michael Jordan mansion with a
catch with
zero
that.
percent down, but how many people gonna be able to maintain it?
That's a catch with that. We're going to talk about that a little later. The 0% as a catch with that. But my thing is, who actually, like, when you think about this though, right? Like, who actually needs all this space though? Like, that's like, why do you need that much space? Like, that's insane. Like, like it's kind of like what Wally said. If you got even if you got a big family, it's like, why would I get a mansion? I can just rent out one, or I can go to a pavilion or something. Uh, like you're looking at 10,000 square feet. There's only like two people. Like shit, I may
Yeah,
have people living on the other side of the house, man. You know what I'm saying? And I won't even know because I don't even go over there. It's just unused space, and I think it's just kind of like a waste of money. It's like, and then like I was looking at, it, I'm like, man, I really don't need all these features. Like I'm fine, I'm cool with the piano and the entertainment room. Yeah, I can rock with that, and then maybe like the putting green out there, but I don't need all that other stuff. All the other stuff just unnecessary. See, JoJo says Jordan didn't want to be there. He in Florida himself. His son literally stayed down the road from me. Yeah, I'm not gonna dox you, JoJo, but JoJo is in one of the richest parts of Florida, down there in South Florida. That's home to a lot of big golf players and a lot of rich folks where JoJo at. Shit, I wish I could be down there with JoJo at. JoJo in a nice area. He said, Shawn, yeah, we know Shawn can afford it. Shawn working all them hours, man. Hey, Shawn, a part of that crew, JoJo from Fight Club. He rich. You know, everybody rich on YouTube. Shawn get to that bag. Shawn get to that bag. He get too much money. He said, "Big money, Shawn. Let's go." Yeah, Shawn getting too much money. So you going to buy that house, Shawn, and we're going to host a party over there, doing a bag talk episode from the Jordan Mansion, Highland Park. Well, yeah, I just think it's too much, right? Like it's too much, and I don't see myself utilizing all that space. I mean, I'm cool with maybe like 4,000 square feet, but something like in the north of 10, like it's too much. Anything over like 4,000 is probably a little too much, and even 4,000 may be too much depending on the structure of the house. Because if it's like a two-story, like when you get old, you ain't gonna be able to get up there. You know what I'm saying? So
Like I'm sitting here thinking about what if you bought it as like an Airbnb and sold it to other people? Like that's the best idea that I can come up with in my head. But I would be afraid that people would just be throwing parties, damaging the property, and now I got to take care of that.
Yeah.
And then it's like I said, Highland is far from the city, and if you come in to visit, Chicago, you don't want to stay far from the city. You came to Chicago to check out everything, like Millennium Park and things of that nature, the Sears Tower and the malls. You are like at least an hour and a half away from that if you go there. So what's literally the point of going there unless you probably just want to do it just to do it and be like, yo, this is Michael Jordan Mansion, man, or you throwing a party.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. Even if you are even if you are doing it as like like an Airbnb, man. That's I don't know, man. How much would you even be charging for that, Shawn? You talking
I'm sure you can charge nice little amount of money to be in a mansion.
that ain't gonna be no $200 a night. I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, definitely not.
That's
Hey,
not
you
$200
could
a night.
probably get your money, but I'm just saying, like, depending on who come and who's renting it out from you, it may not be worth it for whatever money it is.
Mm. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. It says he got all that for his children and teammates, but right now he's seeing why you don't pay much for space, pay for too much space. I agree with that. Man, shout out to 𝗬𝗏𝗪. If you know, you know. He says, Wally says, salute from this side. Shout out to Wally. And then JoJo says, he says 2,000 to 3,500 is enough for me. Yeah, JoJo, that's enough space. But down there in Florida, uh, for that amount, especially where you at, you looking at over $1 million down there where you at. He says, Shawn, the best advice I can give is he needs to talk to some builders and investors and sell the land to them for a multi-million deal like Deion Sanders did.
I can see that. That makes sense too. Just straight up sell the land.
Yeah, because nobody's not even looking at it, right? And then I read that he even cut the price in half, and people still don't want it. Like you said, I'm not sure if it's the proximity, like you said, or maybe it's just, I know like in general, like it's just rough right now with the markets to be able to buy homes. Like even for people that's not looking for luxury homes, right? Because the interest rates are crazy right now. And JoJo says, he says it's enough acres to sell to an investing company, and they can tear down the house and build a housing community. Damn, I know it was that big. Okay. All right. So then that's gonna tie into the next point is maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you invest, I guess. So when I was looking at this, I think like me personally, like I wouldn't do this. Obviously, investing in mansions requires a lot of capital. And I just don't see why it would make sense. For me personally, I would rather do like a multi-family homes, where I can get multiple tenants up in there. A mansion, that's a tough sell, that's a tough stick. And then you got to think about it. What does the loan process for that look like, right? And that's not that common. So you're gonna have to have some collateral as well. When you're doing deals that big. The bank, they gonna want to see some things, right? And 20% of you got mansions going for 20 and 30 million. I mean, if I'm putting up 20% for that, I might as well just go buy multi-family unit homes and be able to do my thing. So, but I was thinking like for those who do that, mansions do offer like exclusivity um, from certain people. You know, like you said, you're in the suburbs, although Highland Park doesn't really have a good rep to its name based on what you've told me. But mansions that are in suburbs like over Virginia, Potomac, Virginia, I mean McLean, Virginia, you know, places like that. Those are nice suburbs where you are excluded, right? You're away from the city, and you know, it's safety. Oftentimes, it's safety. You know, it's much safe out there. Security. You ain't got to worry about having to carry a 9mm with you when you're getting out your car and doing, you know, and having to worry about people coming up to you trying to do something to you. And then it's a status, right? It's kind of like it shows class, right? It shows like where you're at. Like financially, I'm getting to the bag. You know, I'm surrounded by other people who getting crazy bags. Um, you know, I saw that when I was down over there in Austin, over there in North Austin. You know, you got houses in those neighborhoods, like those houses were starting at $2 million, big houses. You know, and it's and then you have access to affluent people. That's pretty much what it is. Like you can have a bunch of rich people within your vicinity, and you can build your network that way. And who knows what that may lead to. But with all that being said, I mean, me personally, I don't think I would. It's still not worth it. Not for me. Not for me. What you think about that, Shawn?
I like all the points that you said, especially with you being in a mansion, you're living next to other people that can afford a mansion, and those can bring in deals. I really like that point. Me personally, yeah, I don't see myself ever wanting a mansion. You know, me personally, I do like your point about the exclusivity. You away from all the crime and things like that. Not saying that if you live in Highland, you ain't gonna get robbed. You can live anywhere and get robbed,
Right.
but the likelihood of it is probably much lower. You know, living on the south side of Chicago, you're probably more likely to get robbed than to be in Highland Park. You know, uh, I could, you know what? I'm thinking about even a wedding that I went to, how we were in what is it called again? Sweet. See, I keep calling
Sugarland.
it Sweetland, Sugarland,
Sugarland.
Sugarland. So we was driving down, and I swear it looked like the hood. I swear it looked like the hood, bro. And we turned into the driveway, and it was beautiful. It was like a mansion. You know, we had people asking us if we want champagne and wine. So I'm just thinking about even in a position like that. Imagine if, yes, you do have a mansion, but you used it for another purpose, actually to throw parties, right? Maybe for a wedding. People wouldn't mind driving an hour away to a mansion to party for a wedding. I'm really trying to think of other ways that you can get, you know, your money back, because just living there, I don't understand who will really want to live in this huge place by themselves or just one other partner. Now, if you want to, you know, move your entire family in the mansion, okay, I understand that. That'd be dope, right? But would it really be dope having that many people live with you? I'm sure it'd be a problem, right? Um, that's about all I got though, Trey. I can't think of any other reason of why, you know, I would want a mansion unless, you know, I want to be solo dolo away from other people. I want a helicopter then. If I'm gonna have a mansion, I want a helicopter. So I can at least travel to all these other places, you know, faster than an hour and a half.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I don't see no reason to have one. You know, I've been in one. You know, I've been in one. I know a guy who got a mansion on 1,000 acres. Uh, you know, out there, way out there in the country, man. You know, indoor basketball court, elevators to get to places inside the house, and I mean, they old, man. It's like it's only the two of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, do I really need all this space? Uh, I think it's more like a status symbol. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
that's what JoJo just said in the chat.
Let me highlight that too. Shout out to my guy JoJo. He says, this mortgage thing, my area. Majority of people who buy mansions for show and tell normally. Rich people moving to 3 to 4,500 square feet, depending on family and others like entertainers do it for show and tell. Yeah,
Just to
that's
do it, like
I
why?
mean, I mean, JoJo, like I said, I'm not trying to dox JoJo, but I'm gonna type it in the back chat, man. JoJo in a nice area though, Sean. Like, hey, he in one of the nicest areas in Florida, bro. It's not common. It is very common for JoJo to see, different entertainers and professional players where he at. But I mean, I don't understand it. Like, in half the time, these people they don't even be at these houses. That
Exactly. That's a whole nother point. You're not even there.
Right.
Like, what was the point of buying it if you're not even gonna live there?
They don't even be there. Like, you see, like when crazy stuff be like, I don't wish that on nobody, but crazy stuff be happening, they don't even be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they don't even be there for 6 months, 6 7 months. Like they have people going to check up on it. It's like, what's the point of having it? Like, you're not even gonna be there. And then like the mortgage payments on it is crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, you'd be a fool to, who want to pay that high rent? It says a lot of mansions are foreclosed on more than multifamily homes, but folks can't afford them. Investors that buy mansions rent their mansions out to entertainers. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the mortgage payments is crazy, man. And especially if you in like it used to be the saying that there was a study that came out the other day. Usually people would say run to Florida, run to Texas because it's much better than California and a couple of other states, right? But this study talked about like property taxes, and once you calculate for property taxes and sales tax and all this other stuff, it may come out to being more expensive to actually live in Texas, and live in states that are state tax friendly, like Texas and Florida. But I mean, at the same time, like in these places, like property taxes is insane. Property taxes is insane in Texas. I don't know about Florida, but I mean, I own a mansion in Texas, in one of the counties I'm in, and it is very expensive, man. It is very expensive. He says a lot of them try to rent it out, like Carlos Boozer. Yeah, Carlos Boozer was one of my favorite players, actually. He played on the Jazz and the Bulls. From the NBA, rented out his mansion to entertainers like Prince. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, Sean, I guess that's the only way I see it. But I mean, still though, I mean, that's a lot of money, man. I don't know. Like, I just think about so many multi-family units I can buy.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So then I guess that kind of ties into, I'm curious, what happens when things don't go well? Like, what happens when the market crashes? And as we see right now, like JoJo saying, foreclosures. I know that's very popular in Texas, right about now, where people, not able to pay, they're not able to pay their taxes, so they're getting behind on these houses and they're getting sent to auction, and things are getting a little crazy. But when I was doing my research, I know they saying the sale of luxury homes has slowed, just like it has slowed for single family homes. The sale of luxury homes has plunged by 28%, as interest rates has skyrocketed. I think rates at like what, 7% now? Because
yeah, it's the last time I checked, it was 6.7. I think
it's like 7. I want to say it's like 7.32% now.
Yeah, I checked earlier this morning. I think I saw 6.7.
Okay.
But
it dropped in. But
yeah,
I think last year, so it's close to almost 7%. But
yeah,
rates is climbing, and you got to think about it too, though. Like, as those rates are going up, like you talking about on a house that large, you talking about maybe thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of, worth the difference. That difference is very huge. It's mammoth. It's very large.
Hey, since we on this topic about interest rates, I got a quick story to share. I was on a plane with this lady who was sitting next to me, and I was like, "Excuse me, can I ask you a personal question?" It was literally the first time I said anything to her, and she was like, "Sure." I said, "Are you retired?" And she was like, "Actually, I am." I was like, "How does the market being down and interest rates and stuff going up like affect you? Like, are you nervous?" And she was talking about how like she bought her house when it was 18% interest rate. So this 6-7% interest rate is nothing to her. And she was like, and when 2008 happened, she just didn't even open up her account. She was like, I just kept, contributing to my funds and didn't look at it, and it recovered. And she said the market go up, it go down, and that's what it do. And she was like, now I'm able to, live comfortably and travel.
I like that. So if she bought at rates when they were 18%, then I wonder did she come in the 70s then?
Probably. But at the same time, you got to remember you can refinance too. So even when the rates go down, you can refinance. So I was having this conversation right here. I was having with my coworker this morning. I'm like, bro, when people be refinancing, they take the equity out their crib and go buy dumb stuff that they don't need instead of putting their money back into the crib, right? And then continue to pay what you were paying on your mortgage before it went down, right? So let's say your mortgage payment is, I don't know, easy math, $1,000, and now your mortgage payment is $800. A lot of people look at it like, oh, I got an extra $200 that I can now spend on dumb stuff. No, just continue to put in that $1,000, and now you can pay off your mortgage even faster. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people make weird choices in
life. Man, that's crazy. Man, so 18%. She had to buy during the 70s, Shawn. The 70s or 80s. Because I know rates was crazy high during that time. And then even if you was to put money into CDs during that time as well, you can make a lot.
Yeah, that was doing better than the stock market back then.
Right, but guess what? A lot of people didn't have money back then, so they wouldn't. I had a friend that grew up in the 80s. Like, man, we had no money back then to be putting on accounts. He's like, that was probably the only time when you could buy CDs. You put money into CDs and into savings account because the interest was so high. Let's see. JoJo says he says when the market crashed, if they can't sell it, then they either let it foreclose and rent out the mansion, or they have the money. Just keep it, and then they hold events, or they can use it as a vacation home. Says my dad did the same. The interest rates in his first home was 12 or 14%. Yeah, Zora, that had to have been like the 70s or 80s or something. Because that's the only time I can think rates was that high. Like I know rates was the close to rates now was 2008, like mid 2000s. Like I think that's when the rates was common was like 6-7%. Just during the last couple of years, it's been uncommon for them to be that low. Okay, so the 80s, 70s, 80s, yep.
Yeah.
So my dad bought his first home in the 80s. So that's probably what she got hers. That was doing Reagan, I think. Carter. Reagan or Carter. It's one of them. But yeah, rates was high. Yeah, you can money in CDs and savings accounts and all that type of stuff. And then JoJo, go back to this. JoJo says, I don't know, JoJo. I mean, I still can't justify that though, JoJo. I mean, damn. I just can't justify, spending that much money like that. I mean, even as a vacation home, I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But that's crazy, Shawn. That's crazy. And I think even that is true. The markets do go up and down, but I mean, you just don't want to be caught on the wrong end of the stick. Like you don't want to be caught retiring when there's a recession.
Yeah, true.
That can be a little tough depending on how much assets you got.
Yeah.
How much assets you got. If you got millions, and then that's no problem, right? But it's like to have, depending on your expenses and your health and all this stuff, when you take all that into consideration, and then your needs and stuff like that, then it may become problematic. But it's good that she's still able to travel and do her thing. So. But other than that, do you got anything else, Shawn, on this topic, or?
No, that's it about this topic.
Let me see. JoJo says, honestly, if you buy a home at 1 to 5%, ain't nothing to justify it, bro. But folks like Bill Gates and other billionaires, it's baby money. Facts. I mean, I mean, shit, I don't know nobody that was able to get a home at 1%. But I mean, shit, you can get it. I mean, I get what he's saying though. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I can't see rates going to 0. So, that's good. Well, I mean, but the rates go to 0.
Hey, we'll see. We don't know.
That may have happened.
It might be negative. I was reading about negative interest rates a couple months ago. Oh man, I didn't even know that was a thing. So we'll see.
Fair enough. That's true. Fair enough. Fair enough. And Bill Gates buying up all that land though, JoJo. I think he like one of the biggest landholders. JoJo say, "See how behave."
Appreciate it, JoJo.
Yeah. Watch when he say something crazy. Get on off here. Get on off here. But thank you guys for tuning in. You know, obviously this was a great topic. We try to switch it up a little bit. You know, and just stay tuned. We'll be producing more content. Make sure y'all going to check out Promatic Pragmatism. When Tommy does his premieres, make sure y'all go check that out. A lot of valuable information on that side, and then make sure y'all checking out 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗃. But once again, you know, the channel is growing, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If y'all have any suggestions or any topics y'all want to be talked about, y'all can feel free to email us. It should be pinned in the y'all should be able to scroll down on the tabs and then find the email, and y'all want us to cover something, y'all can just send us an email and then we'll make that happen. But with all that being said, we're gonna wrap the show up. And I'm Trey.
I'm Shawn.
And this is Bag Talk 101. Thank you guys for tuning in. JoJo, let me get off here before you start getting out of hand, man. Peace out.